Thank you, sir, for your gracious and thoughtful. To present an overview of the theme, objective, and academic relevance of this seminar, I now invite Dr. A. Seveswara, convener and head, PG and Research Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, Autonomous, Tirupattur, to enlighten us about the seminar.
Very good morning to all of you. Very reverend principal, General Secretary Raj, Lecturer Dr. Sivakumar, learned faculty members, my dear friends. It gives me immense pride to seminar about the national from different perspectives regarding Vikshit Bharat at 2047. India, as one of the fast growing countries globally, has been at the forefront of contributing to economic growth, both inclusive and sustainable. As the vision of our Prime Minister on Vikshit Bharat at 2047, addressing the voice of youth to the governors, vice chancellors, university faculty on December 11, 2023, that Vikshit Bharat at 2047 is a government vision to derive the mission of making India a complete developed nation by 100th anniversary of independence 2047. The vision is based on four main pillars such as youth, women, farmers, and poor. It aims to make India a developed with economic growth, environmental sustainability, and social progress and good governance. According to the plan, the goal is improve the living standard of everyone in the country, promoting good education, job opportunities, medical facilities, and better infrastructure. To show the roadmap of this plan, there is a need for innovative and effective ideas. In this way, the National Seminar on Indian Economy, Vikshit Bharat 2047, will be an interdisciplinary seminar and to seeks to understand the various aspects of Bharat as a global leader. The National Seminar will aim to deliberate on issues around India's role as a global leader with focus on technology, marketing, human resource, sustainable and role of women in development, and explore new ideas which can help to achieve the vision of Vikshit Bharat. In this regard, the Postgraduate and Research Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, organizing the two-day national seminar, highlight the vision of Vikshit Bharat. Now, what are the objectives of this seminar? There are four important objectives. The first objective is to understand the Vikshit Bharat vision. Second one, to understand the global and social issues. And third one, to address the growing environmental challenges and new development paradigm. And the last one, to develop national plan and remedial measures to solve the issues of conflict between growth and sustainable development. With this, I conclude. Once again, I take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you for this 2 days national seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting a meaningful academic contest. It's now time for felicitation.
Now it's time to honor our chief guest. May I now invite our dear father principal to don a shawl on our chief guest. To honor our dear father, may I now invite our convener, Dr. A. Susira, to don a shawl on our dear father, principal. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Father.
I now respectfully invite Reverend Dr. D. Maria Anthony Raj, SDB, Principal, Sacred Heart College, Autonomous, Thupattur, to deliver the presidential address.
Most respected and esteemed chief guest of the day, Dr. V. Morganasundaram, Adjunct Faculty, Jain University, Bangalore. Respected and esteemed Professor, Head of the Department, Dr. A. Xavier Susiraj, and the convener of this two-day conference. Respected and esteemed UG Head of the Department, Dr. Jacob Stanley, the faculty members of the department, Professor Asif from Asholam College, Professor Dr. S. Rajendran, Emeritus Professor, and all the other faculty members from other colleges, and my dear students from Sacred Hearts and other colleges, and yet still some are traveling. So I extend a hearty welcome to Sacred Heart College, which is celebrating its 75th year. Okay, 70 we are into the midst of the celebrations. At the very outset, I'd like to thank Dr. V. Morganasundaram, who has got long association with Sacred Heart College. As I was donning the shawl on him, and he was saying, I have been associated with this institution for the past 48 years. Long, okay. Please give him a good hand, okay. Being available with us and sharing his knowledge. And also like to thank Professor Rajendran and all the other Professor Asif and others. Bilal and all must be coming, our past people. He's also a past people, okay. Will be enriching this conference, okay. When I think of Department of Economics, ஒரு வகையான பொறாமை வருது. I feel jealous. I have told the head of the department, Mr. Xavier Susai, yappa நீ தொட்டதெல்லாம் பொண்ணா இருக்குதப்பா. Okay, because you know why? Professor Xavier keeps on writing projects to various agencies, not only projects, also small conferences, and he makes it. And he is one of the few professors who keep on knocking at the various agencies and getting funds and organizing this kind of seminar. Again, say this year, past 2 years or so, we have been planning for the Platinum Jubilee. Platinum Jubilee should not just pass by, it should be a significant moment where academic activities take place, development programs take place, also other entertainment things of that sort. Should not be one-sided, lopsided celebrations. So from that background, we had asked all the departments to organize minimum 2 academic quality programs during this Platinum Jubilee year. So the department took it very seriously, and they applied for this funding from ICSR, and he has achieved it. So I'd like to thank Xavier and all the other faculty members for this great achievement. A difference, as I said, we are into the Platinum Jubilee, 75 years of sustained educational service in this area, and this area, North Arcot, undivided district of Vellore, has really seen the benefit and the impact of this college. And we are grateful to God and all the professors and Salesians who have worked very hard the past 75 years to render this educational service, and I gratefully remember them. Professor Xavier Susai, in his talk, he has beautifully given you the gist of what is going to happen today and tomorrow. Maybe since they have asked me, I also got through something. I'd like to share with you my thoughts. Dear friends, it's been both a privilege and responsibility to stand before you today and to speak on a vision that's not just government policy, but a national aspiration. The entire nation wants to grow. See India, a developed nation. Viksit Bharat, Bharat India, Viksit developed. Developed India 2047. We got our independence. When did we get our independence? 47, 1947. 2047, 100 years. Okay, we need to be really developed in all true sense. As India marches towards the centenary of independence, we are called to imagine, revision, and build a nation that is prosperous, inclusive and sustainable growth and globally respected. Difference, it's a Viksit Bharat for 2047 is a long time vision strategy of India to become a nation, developed nation 2047. This is not just merely in numbers, GDP, okay, gross domestic product numbers. Not just that, although also it's important. GDP is very important. Infrastructure is very important, but it is in simple terminology to understand developed India. Every Indian should have access to good education. By 2047, when we say India is a developed country, every citizen of India should have a quality access to quality education, quality health care, and there should not be a problem of employment. Everyone should get employed, and there should be dignity, social justice. Everything put together is only developed nation. Okay. As Sir mentioned, it stands on 5 pillars. No? One is sustainable economic growth. If you talk about Tamil Nadu economy, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu will say by 2030, Tamil Nadu should become $1 trillion economy. That is his goal. For Viksit Bharat 2047, Indian government has kept 30 to 40 trillion dollars, which means every state minimum they should become $1 trillion. Only then will become. It is not easy to achieve. It's not, but it's a beautifully what we call imagined goal that all of us should march. Okay, we need to contribute to that. Then, as I said, the second pillar, all of us, every citizen should have access to good health, education, and whatnot. That's another area. And then we need to, the youngsters, the growing population, youngsters like you, and should become innovators, job providers, use technology and find solutions. So we need to become innovators, and science and technology should lead us forward in the next 20-25 years. And the fourth pillar is, if you do all these things and there is no good administration, good governance, if things are stifled off, if corruption is there, things are not going to happen. So there must be good governance. And then lastly, there should be India should become resilient. Whatever the economic ups and downs come in the world, we need to face it with a lot of courage and overcome. So, difference, as a higher education institution or as youngsters, what is your contribution towards this Viksit Bharat? Basing on these 5 pillars, we can draw out certain areas where the youngsters, say for example 20 to 40 years or 45 years, how you can contribute. You need to apply your minds in innovation. Recently, India conducted Innovation 25, and at least I read in the newspaper, India is leading in the innovation sector in the world. They have added around 25,000 innovations in the last year itself, if my memory is correct. At least I read in the newspaper. So youngsters must get into innovations, get into the labs, become entrepreneurs. That's the only way. Then, social responsibility. We have been talking of in our college volunteerism. Come, engage yourself, civic engagements. We need to take care of our society in and around. Government is there. As a civil society member, what is my contribution? Remember, whenever I talk to you, I tell you, please pick up the paper. Keep the environment clean. So one area. Keep your villages clean. Green energy. Okay, so social response. Everyone should become socially conscious. And then we need to stay informed what is happening as youngsters. Democratic participate. We need to take part in voting. We need to create awareness among students and other society public. These are all areas where you can really contribute towards the development of the nation Viksit Bharat 2047. And then lastly, values. Ethically, we as citizens of India, we need to be honest. We need to promote values, ethical values in whatever field we are. Are we honest? So we need to keep all these things in mind. Only then India in 2047 can become a truly developed nation. Everyone's contribution is needed. Dear friends, a final word. In 2047, when India turns 100 years, what will be your age? Most of you are 20, 19, 20, 21, add another 22 years. You will be 45, 46, 47 years, isn't it? இன்னொரு 20-22 வருஷத்துல, imagine, add another 20-23 years. You will be 45, 40. You will be leading all the institutions. The leadership will be with you. The leadership with you, okay? So, and then you'll be part of innovations. So what kind of India will you hand over to the next generation? You need to ask. So let's not wait for a change. Let us be the change. Let Sacred Heart College be a microcosm or be a model of Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat at the national level. Our Sacred Heart College can be a shining example to the society. How we can be developed. If every college, every village considers, I will be a model to others. Imagine the ripple effect everywhere. Then you will see a developed India. So where excellence meet, empathy and ambition walk hand in hand with integrity. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank the department for giving me a chance to share my thoughts. And I'm sure, dear friends, let us own up this dream of Viksit Bharat 2047 as our own dream. And let's see our country a developed nation soon. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Father, for your visionary and encouraging words. Now, it's time to release the souvenir.
Now it's time to release the souvenir. May I invite our chief guest to release the souvenir, and the first copy to be received by Father Principal, second copy by Dr. Xavier Susaraj, and third copy myself, and fourth copy Dr. K. Sivakumar.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to introduce our chief guest and keynote speaker for this inaugural session. And I now invite Dr. J. Jacob Stanley Inbaraj, Associate Professor, to introduce the chief guest to us.
Once again, I take this opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Dr. V. Mohanasundaram. Sir is from Coimbatore. So he started his academic journey. He did his BA Economics in the PhD College of Arts and Science, and he completed in the year 1978, and did his MA in the same institution and completed in the year 1980. Later, he did the B.Ed in Economics in the year 1981 at Sri Ramakrishna Vishan Vidyalaya, Coimbatore, and he did his doctoral degree at ISAC, Bangalore, Institute for Social and Economic Change, in the year 1994. Later, he did his PG Diploma in Annamalai University, Guidance and Counseling. Then, he did one more PG Diploma in the IGNOU on Higher Education, and also another PG Diploma in the same institute on IPR, Intellectual Property Rights. And he did his MS at Alagappa University in the Education Management. He also did his MSc Psychology at University of Madras and completed in the year 2009. He did another one diploma in epigraphy at PhD CAS Academy of Excellence in the year 2016. And he did another PhD in the psychology at Bardiyar University and completed in the year 2017. And also did another MA in philosophy at Annamalai University. The list goes on. So he has got in-depth knowledge in various disciplines, not only in economics, psychology, education, even the epigraphy and other disciplines. His teaching experience, he has got nearly 29 years of teaching at both UG and PG level and 20 years of experience at MPhil and PhD. He has also been a coordinator of IQAC from 2012 to 2016 at PhD CAS, and also coordinator for IAS Study Circle, and advisor for IQAC from 1/6/2016 to 31/5/2018. And he has been heading the Department of Economics PhD College from 2018 to 2022. A significant achievement is that he has guided nearly 9 MPhil awarded, and one is physically challenged. So I know him, Mr. Selvaraj. Okay. And also, very important thing is that he has guided till now 24 PhD awards. Let us give him a big hand. It's not so easy to guide PhD scholars, but sir has achieved. And nearly 62 publications in various reputed national and international journals. And he has conducted nearly 10 seminars, 10 workshops, and 2 exhibitions conducted by sir. And he has nearly attended 250 conferences at various levels. And also he has completed 7 projects, 3 major projects and 4 minor projects funded by UGC, ICSSR, and MEA. And he also has an MOU at Coconut Development Board, Cochin. Regarding the awards, he has received the Young Economist Award in the year 2027, that is Association of Economists of Tamil Nadu, AET. And also he has received Malcolm Adishesha Award for Best Teacher in Economics in the year 2005. And he has also received Vocational Excellence Award in the year 2013 at Rotary Club Coimbatore. And also he has received Senior Economist Award in the year 2015, Association of Economists of Tamil Nadu. Currently he is working as Adjunct Professor of Economics at Jain University, Bangalore. Apart from this, it's a big pride for me that I would say that I am a student of Sir. I did my PG in PhD College of Economics. During my academic voyage, Sir is highly instrumental. He is molding and shaping me, and till now, right from the day I stepped into the PhD CAS, till now, he is guiding me in various academic endeavors. And a lot of good qualities I could say, but the time is ticking out. So with these few words of introduction, I take this opportunity once again to thank Sir for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the clear and gracious introduction of our esteemed chief guest. I now take great pleasure in inviting Dr. V. Mohanasundaram, retired adjunct faculty, Jain University, Bangalore, to deliver the keynote address.
Respected principal, Professor Xavier Susiraj, Jacob Stanley Inbraj, Dr. Edward Lyle Williams, Dr. Sivakumar, Dr. John Sundar, and many other faculty members of this department, my good friend Dr. Rajendran, other faculty members, research scholars and students from this college. It is my privilege to deliver this inaugural address, and also they put in the as a keynote address in this national seminar sponsored by ICSSR. For the benefit of the UG students, I will go bilingual also, that is Tamil konjam pesum. There are students from other countries, probably they may not understand Tamil, so I have to go by English also. I take this presentation in three parts. The first part is the introductory part, where I want to mention one or two points about this particular college. Father P.P. George was earlier the head of the economics department, head of the department, and also he became the principal of this college. I was very closely associated with, and we used to discuss with respect to the what we call first person to do PhD in returns to education, that is economics of education in Tamil Nadu, Dr. P.P. George. Is the first PhD it is in Tamil Nadu with respect to the investment in education, returns to education, economics of education and all. Father P.P. George has did. And when we conducted a AID conference in our college, at that age also he visited our college, he honored us. So he is a great visionary and economist produced by this particular college. Then we had Padmanabhan sir, and especially when it comes to the eradication of poverty, he used to say that it is through gun or bun. So like it's a famous quote. He was very, normally whenever he presents, with so much of involvement and with so much of emotional kind of thing, commitment, he used to make these presentations. And we had one Wilson Amalraj sir, he's very good in English and making these programs, very silent, but he is very effective in his one. And our own Xavier Susiraj sir, I don't know how many of the students know that he was a Fulbright scholar. He's very distinguished recognition he got. I'm very happy because I know him from a student days, that is one advantage. And he has grown to a certain great extent, and he is heading the department. And as principal mentioned, he has been doing a very good things and getting the sponsored projects and sponsored seminars. It's very rare even in this campus. So very good achievement by Professor Xavier Susiraj. As Stanley told, he was my student, so continuously student-teacher relationship continues. And I have to make a special mention about our Royal Edward Williams, and coming September you are going to have a very good conference, the Association of Economists of Tamil Nadu 44th conference, is 44th conference. So give a big hand to Edward Royal Williams, and he is going to be the organizing secretary. And with the active support of Professor Xavier Susiraj, Stanley, John Sundar, Sivakumar and all other staff members, it is going to be a very good event here. It is known for that kind of academic and blended with research activities. So I am very happy. So these are all a few points with respect to the department and the college. And my good friend Dr. Rajendran is from Gandhigram Rural Institute. He also my junior at ISEC Bangalore, and he is going to give the special address in the next session. The second part which I am going to talk about is, before going to the presentation, because I prepared for the special session, and due to the inability of Dr. L. Venkatachalam to come over here to personally deliver the in our keynote address, I was asked to make it, so but I will go by the present. In before that, I have 3 points. The first point, whenever we ask some people, normally in the motivation classes and other places, they will ask, who is your role model? Normally we ask the students, who is your role model, and why you got inspiration and all. When I was doing my BA and MA, 1975 to 1980 in my college, PhD College of Arts and Science, my head of the department, Dr. A.S. Ramasamy, A.S. sir we will call A.S. Ramasamy, used to tell, our specialization in MA was agriculture economics, and he used to tell, take a dryland farmer as a role model. A dryland farmer as a role model. He depends entirely on the rainfall, monsoon, okay, then he tries, he cultivates, he survives. So, since Jacob and Xavier sir sent the invitation, I found my title as Sustainable Development and Water. So immediately I got remembered my head of the department and my teacher that water is so much important, and we have to learn a large number of things from those farmers who are cultivating in the dry land. Completely you are relying on the rainfall, and you are making yourself to adjust with that, and cultivating, surviving. So that way water is very important. The second very important one is that the kind of water, the understanding of water, and the use of water, everything goes with so many other variables. In Tamil Nadu, with respect to the water, the usage and all, people are finding fault with the what we call the free electricity to the farmers. So it was very hard times. I was part of the farmers movement. We went to the protest, but they have not arrested me because of we are all very young age. So that time the government increased it from 11 paise per unit to 11.15 paise. For that there was a very big struggle during 1972. That time DMK government was in power. So afterwards so much of things came, then he became next time chief minister, that free electricity was given. So in economics there is no free lunch. That is the basics of economics. But this has given, and it went on and went on, and now the kind of water extraction from the ground, that is groundwater extraction is the water depletion has gone to the dangerous levels. So that is the second thing we have to ponder over. And the third one before presentation is that I have got, out of the 24 students guided, 4 did on this particular aspect. One has done, Mr. Selvam Murugan, on the groundwater depletion, that groundwater irrigation in the Annur block in Coimbatore district. Now it is under Tirupur district. So what else? Second one was a very interesting study by Arul Maran. He did on water users associations in the Paramikulam Aliyar project. So two contrasting, Annur is 100% rainfall pattern, groundwater dependent area, and the Pollachi, Anamalai, Madathukulam areas are completely under the canal irrigation PAP, that is Paramikulam Aliyar project. So I used to find a lot of differences in the water usage, the kind of yield, the kind of returns farmers are getting, what is the attitude of the farmers towards the usage of water. The third project was very interesting. Again, that is about the drip irrigation. So even if we have more water, or even if we are not having sufficient water, through drip irrigation there are possibilities of making high yield. We can use water very economically, but you can get more yield. So that is one. And the fourth one is related to water depletion, then drinking water quality with specific reference to women. That was the fourth project. That was conducted in same Vellore district here. So I have experiences of guiding students, learning from them, then experiences. It gives a lot of insights to water, sustainability of water. Now I will go by this presentation, okay? And let me, is it visible to everybody? To take some first slide. So before starting, I thought of giving some kind of warm up. அதாவது நம்ம ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்லலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு காம்படிஷன் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் இதில் போகும்போது we will go by a warm up. So that way just I will do two examples for the starting of this particular presentation. Is it visible? நீங்க படிங்க பார்க்கலாம். உங்களுக்கு கண்ணு தெரியுதா நல்லா? படிங்க.
Imagination is everything. It is for preview of life coming attractions.
Probably last page visible இருக்கா இல்லையா? We are talking about the sustainability. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. That by Albert Einstein. Now we are talking about the sustainability. So there is a quote. Ultimately, sustainability is a question of imagination. Sustainability is a question of imagination. So you have to imagine. This I have not told you. This is given by World in Transition, a social contract for sustainability, a summary of policymakers by German Advisory Council on Global Change. Unless otherwise we imagine, then principle has mentioned about the innovation with respect to the Viksit Bharat. So we imagine, we innovate, we adopt strategies, we adopt technologies, then through that we will progress. It is applicable to an individual student.
Ruben, BA Economics first year.
First year. So Ruben, first BA Economics. So now he has to start imagination. What after degree? Or how much percentage we want to get in the examinations. So how we can get a job. So that kind of things only will sustain the Ruben's progress. I can't influence Ruben beyond certain level. His teachers also helping him, but at the same time you have to imagine, you have to progress. Then only there is a possibility. Next slide please. So sustainable development, there are three necessary conditions for the transition. So moving from one stage to another stage in a progressive area, the first condition or the first point is given by Tony Pereira. It's a very good article, a three-step process. First one, human beings must come to the absolute realization that themselves and all life depend on and are made of the same air, water, soil and light that surrounds us and everything else and not the other way around. So we have to give profound respect to these natural resources. Second one, next. Have and maintain partnership with the environment that is always spent on sustainable and ecological goods, services, assets, commodities, education and living necessities, which leads to sustainable living and sustainable economies are assured. Next. The third condition, legislation. Principal also used the word governance. Unless otherwise we prepare rules, regulations, laws, then we adhere to those rules and regulations and laws, nothing is possible. So we have to come under a category where legislation must be enacted wherever feasible, providing incentives to sustainable living, to arrest activities that are undemocratic, unsustainable and vastly damaging to the air, soil, water, streams and environment. We have to give applause, we have to appreciate, we have to encourage, we have to award those who are supporting all the natural resources. At the same time, you have to punish those who are spoiling those natural resources. So two things have to be done by the government. That is a good government. If you are getting very good mark, very good distinction, very good achievements, we are ready to applaud you. We will encourage you. Suppose you are doing some mistake, we at the same time we will punish also. That is the third important condition. Next please. So water, I don't want to go very detail about the importance of water. So out of 10 questions raised by Swaroop Dankar, a PhD student from the IIT Gandhinagar, in an article, she has written an article that hydrology and here in an edited report by Agnes Gupta and subsequent. But I read this paper, India's Climate Research Agenda 2030 and beyond. So it has been written in 2023. So now majority of the report they will say 2030. It is only for 4 years now, and we are talking about the Viksit Bharat 2047. The one taken up for today's, out of the 10 questions, the one question which I have taken is that how will changes in the future irrigation related water withdrawal impact overall water sustainability? What is the rate at which we are taking water, at the rate at which it is going to what we are supplied by the nature through the rivers and all. Next. So water, we have the major sources, minor resources, and the withdrawal of water, competitive use. Agriculture wants more water, industries want more water, for drinking water we require more amount of water. So everywhere there is a competition for water. And India is 4% of world's water resources. At the same time, it has to support 18% of the world's population. உலக நாடுகளுடைய மொத்த மக்கள் தொகையில் 18% நம்ம இந்தியாவில் இருக்கு. ஆனால் நம்மகிட்ட எவ்வளவு வாட்டர் இருக்கு? உலக வாட்டர்ல 4%. So 4% of water of world, we have to support the 18% of the population of India. ரூபன் புரியுதா? எவ்வளவு கஷ்டம்னு தெரியுதா? That is the point. Now, then we have the river water, that is through dams and canals we are distributing, and we have that 10,360 rivers in India. 10,000 ஆறுகள் major rivers we have, at the same time small one also. And the annual average flow in all river basins is 1,869 cubic kilometers. But how much we are using? Is it visible? We are using only 690 cubic kilometers, that is 32%. இவ்வளவு வாட்டர் இருந்தாலும் 100 லிட்டர் வாட்டர் இருக்குதுன்னா நம்ம 32 லிட்டர் வாட்டர் தான் பயன்படுத்துகிறோம். 68% வாட்டர் என்ன ஆகுது? கடல்ல போய் கலக்குது, எவாபரேட் ஆகுது, ஆவியாக போகிறது. இதெல்லாம் நிறைய நம்ம பார்த்துக்க வேண்டியது. நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். டேம் வாட்டர். நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். Per capita availability of water in India. இது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு டேட்டா. வெரி சிம்பிள் டேட்டா. நீங்க அதை ரிசர்ச் பண்றவங்க யாராவது ஆர்வம் இருக்கிற, சப்போஸ் யூ ஆர் டூயிங் சம்திங் ஆன் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர், வாட்டர், these are all the basic points you will get. For example, in 1951 PT, it was 5,177 cubic meters. In 2025, last year, it was 1,341 cubic meters. And it is forecasted that we are going to get per capita water 1,140 cubic meters because of increase in population and also increase in use. So both of them are increasing. That is one trend. Next slide. There are large number of theories in economics. Please remember, we read in all our classrooms about the theories. Same way the theories are applied to what we call in the practical situation. So we should have some kind of sound knowledge in theory also. Okay. I will ask a very simple question. You have a good name? Irene. என்ன படிக்கிறீங்க? எந்த காலேஜ்? இதே காலேஜ் தான். So Irene from second MCom of the same college. I will ask a simple question to Irene that தண்ணீர் இல்லாம நம்ம உயிர் வாழ முடியுமா? முடியாது. தங்கம் இல்லாம உயிர் வாழ முடியுமா? தங்கம் கோல்டு இல்லாம உயிர் வாழ முடியும். அப்ப ஏன் தங்கத்துக்கு அதிக விலை, தண்ணிக்கு ஏன் குறைவான விலை? தண்ணிக்கு விலையே இல்லை. students from economics answer? The question not கேட்கல. This question is not mine. நீங்க answer.
Sir, we have water sources compared with the gold. Gold we have few much which we have sources. Compared with the water source, we have a huge level of water source.
உங்க பேர் என்ன சொன்னீங்க? ஷானவாஸ் உடைய ஆன்சர் வந்து we have plenty of water, so water has no value, but we are having a scarce of the gold, so we are having more value. Any other answer?
Good morning, sir. My name is Lombe. I'm from 3rd BA Economics. You said the question in Tamil, so I didn't hear what the question is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's because of its mineral value. That's why it's important. But both are important. One is to live and one is only for your status. So I think it's more convenient to live with water. It's more convenient to live with water than without gold.
Anybody listen? If you are very poor listeners, means there is no point of conducting the seminar. You have to listen. She has given a good answer. This question was raised by, not mine. It is by Adam Smith. Who is Adam Smith? Father of economics. So water and gold, when we compare, water has use value. Gold has exchange value. Gold has exchange value. That time, gold and silver are used for exchange. There was no coin or the currency. So mostly gold and silver are used. So water has what we call the use value and gold is an exchange value. But for our living, water has more. So we have a large number of issues with respect to pricing of water and the valuation of the water. And there are large number of models. Professor Rajendran knows very well about the pricing models regarding the marginal cost, average cost. There are large number of models are available to value the water. How much the pricing of water, whether water can be, even there are very good works on the pricing dam water. The construction of dam costs so much, but it comes for 30 years, 300 years up to that. Mullai Periyar River, that dam is a very good example. Only last week we celebrated the Benny Quick his birthday. So that way pricing of the water is a very big issue in economics. Next slide. So then the valuation also it is a complex one, but there are three dimensions like economic dimension, social dimension and environmental dimension. There are various models are available how to value the water. Next slide. Now we are coming to the sustainability. Yes, water is precious, water is available, water we have to use, agriculture is very important, food security is very important, we want food, we want water, we want quality water also. Even the 5 pillars of the Viksit Bharat, we also mentioned about the quality education, quality health. Quality of health also related to the quality of water. There are large number of waterborne diseases. So that means economically efficient use of water resources is not necessarily sustainable. The Food and Agriculture Organization says the economics means we are looking at the returns alone, but we are applying more and more of fertilizer, more and more of chemical pesticides and all, but that will spoil the quality of the water as well as the food content. So that means we require some other measures apart from the economic value. First one is clarity about the type of valuation to be employed. Second one, theoretical basis guided by ecological knowledge. I am not having ecological knowledge. I am not a scientist. So we have a separate subject of ecological economics. We require a lot of ecological knowledge, ecology. Then also we require analytical tools to measure the water ecosystem services. How much services are provided by the water systems, like dams, lakes, tanks, ponds, okay, like that. Professor Venkatachalam, he is going to address to you through online the next one. He is very good in the analysis, the last third one. He is an expert in the water ecosystem services valuation. He has done for the Pallikarani in Chennai. Okay, so he has done. Next slide. So there are priorities: water, water politics, then wastage of water. A brief note on India. What is happening like that? I was just referring to the river water, how much we are using, how much we are wasting, how we are not able to use 100%, how we are not able to use 100% of the water. So there are a lot of statistics. I will give one or two examples before going to the slide. For example, you take Brahmaputra. I think everybody knows river Brahmaputra. It from the Assam, what do we call, up to West Bengal, then Bangladesh, all those things are connected. So only 11% of the water from Brahmaputra is utilized, because the landscape is like that. So water flows and it becomes very difficult for us to measure things. And you won't believe me, if you are able to generate electricity, hydel electricity through Brahmaputra water, 40% of the needs of India's electricity needs can be done. From one river alone, where the idle electricity we were able to successfully generate, 40% of our electricity generation can be done. We have the Mettur Dam, we are having the Mettur Dam hydroelectric project. But why we are not able to do the type of topography, the type of hill through hills it travels, and we require a lot of investment, very good technology is required, otherwise it is very difficult to harness the idle energy. Similarly, almost 100% of the river water by Bhavani is utilized, 90% of the Kaveri water is utilized, 100% of Tungabhadra river water is utilized, but as far as Krishna river also 90% utilized. But when you take to Godavari river water, only 40% is utilized. The remaining 60% goes to sea. So the kind of dams, kind of canals, kind of water distribution systems should be very, very important. So water policy should address the use of river water, the use of dam water, and not only this one, and also the rainwater harvesting. Even rainwater harvesting has been given so much of importance. Even in Tamil Nadu we have, எந்த வீடு கட்டினாலும் எந்த கட்டடம் கட்டினாலும் அந்த மழைநீர் சேகரிப்பு திட்டம் இருந்தால் தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து வீட்டு வரியே போடுவாங்க. கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? ஸோ அதை கம்பல்சரி பண்ணியிருக்காங்க எந்த பில்டிங்காக இருந்தாலும். ஸோ ஆல் த பில்டிங்ஸ் ஹவுசஸ் should have the rain water harvesting system. So that should be the water policy for the sustainability. Then what are priorities? What is your priority? So there are various uses, I told you. Agriculture, industry, and all other people are using for drinking water. So which is your priority? So drinking water is our priority, quality of the drinking water. Then for agriculture we want, for industry also we want. And Tirupur is the best example how industries are using more of water, but at the same time they are also polluting the water, Noyal river. So there are large number of technologies now, common effluent treatment plants. So only treated water are left in the river and not the untreated chemical water. So these are all the type of things you have to go prioritize. Then water politics. I don't want to go very detailed to the water politics. Whenever there is a problem, we have all the states are having this kind of, like Kaveri water problem between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Andhra and Karnataka, Maharashtra and Karnataka. So all these rivers, it is very, this one. And you know, even river gangs, Kangayaru, அது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மிகப்பெரிய மாநிலங்கள் வெளியே போகுது. 40% of the area of India is covered by river gangs. எங்கே அந்த மேப்பில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தெரியும் எங்கே ஆரம்பித்து அது எங்கே முடியுதுன்னு பார்க்கலாம். So it travels all the major states. So there is a problem between the states. So there is a politics. So they require a resolution one. Then we have the water wastage. The last one I want to emphasize. With all the scarcity, with all so much of value to the water, we are wasting water. That is what my observation also. Next slide. Water waste, then water pollution, then sustainability. With this I will complete. I was staying in a room in our college hostel. So inside the door they put a small notice. We have to lock the door, we have to keep clean, we have to hand over the key to the person. So like that there are 10 commandments given in the board in our room. The last line, please check before leaving the room whether all taps are closed to avoid wastage of water. அந்த ரூமில் என்ன எழுதியிருக்காங்கன்னா 10 கண்டிஷன் எழுதியிருக்காங்க. கடைசி கண்டிஷன் வந்து போகும்போது அந்த டேப்பெல்லாம் கரெக்டாக க்ளோஸ் ஆயிருக்கான்னு பாருங்கள், இல்லைன்னா வாட்டர் வந்து வேஸ்ட் ஆயிரும். ரயில்வேல அதே மாதிரி எழுதியிருப்பாங்க. ஸோ எந்த இடத்துக்கு நீங்கள் போனீங்கனாலும் தண்ணீரை சேமிக்கணும், தண்ணீரை வீணாக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. அதுலேயும் குடிநீர், இதில் கை கால் கழுவாதீர்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ எவ்ரிவேர் we are giving importance to avoid wastage of water. Otherwise what will happen? We will have the water scarcity and our water crisis. So one must be very careful. So if we avoid the water crisis, water waste, you can sustain. Otherwise it is not possible. Then there are some analysis like sensitivity analysis with respect to water wastage in Indian households. So much of water is wasted. If you go to all them, especially you are all from Tirupattur, mostly dryland agriculture, dryland farming, like that. But if you go to other places like urban centers, so much of water is wasted, especially by the households also. That is quality water, drinking water. Then water wastage in Indian agriculture, that is also enormous. And water wastage in industrial sector leading to so much of pollution. Bangalore is the best example where you won't believe me, earlier Bangalore survived with its own water. அதுக்கு பின்னாடி காவேரி ஸ்டேஜ் 1 நேரடியாக காவேரி அதிலிருந்து தண்ணி கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. அப்புறம் வாட்டர் டிமாண்ட் இன்க்ரீஸ்ட், காவேரி ஸ்டேஜ் 2, எகைன் டிமாண்ட் இன்க்ரீஸ்ட், காவேரி ஸ்டேஜ் 3. So many apartments, 400 households, 4,000 households, like that, so much of apartments, water lorries, water market. 100% people are buying water for their services in Bangalore like cities. So in urban areas, so many industries are there, households are there, so much of waste water is developed that leads to pollution. So we want to sustain, we have to reduce the waste. Next slide. So we have 3 types of major resources like river water, groundwater and rainwater. So I have given 2 sides, uses and abuses. If we use properly, we can sustain. It is very simple understanding. If we abuse, we are not having any respect, if we are wasting, then it becomes problem. The second one is potential versus utilization. Water is not going to be a, what do you call it, the scarcity commodity. It is available. If we are able to use judiciously, there are possibilities. That is why I have given, so we have a potential, but we have to utilize. What is your good name?
Tirupati, first BA Economics.
So Tirupati, first BA Economics. இப்போ இவருடைய பொட்டன்சியல், இவரால் என்னென்னலாம் முடியுங்கிறது இருக்கும், பட் அதை நீங்கள் வந்து பயன்படுத்துறீங்களாங்கிறது தான் முக்கியம். ஸ்கூலில் என்ன படித்தீங்க? தமிழ் மீடியமா இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியமா? தமிழ் மீடியம். எந்த ஸ்கூலு? கவர்மெண்ட் ஹையர் செகண்டரி ஸ்கூல்
கசினாயம்பட்டி.
எவ்வளோ தூரம் இங்கிருந்து? டெய்லி வந்துட்டு போகிறீங்களா? ஸோ ஃப்ரம் தமிழ் மீடியம், ஃப்ரம் கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்கூல், நவ் யூ ஆர் அட்டெண்டிங் எ காலேஜ். இங்கே தமிழ் மீடியமா இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியமா? இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம். ஸோ we require lot of efforts. It is not all that easy. I was asking the girl Kirtiya or Kartiya, முன்னாடி பிரசன்ட் பண்ணாங்களே, 3rd BA Economics. ஸோ நல்லா பேசுகிறாங்க. she is from English medium school. ஸோ அவங்க லெவலுக்கு நீங்கள் 3rd BA வரும்போது பேசணும்னா நீங்கள் முயற்சி பண்ணணும். ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் த பொட்டன்சியல், உங்களால் பேச முடியும். So that is the idea. So water we have plenty, there is a potential, but we have to effectively use. And what is the status? இன்றைய நிலவரம் என்ன? நம்ம அந்த அளவுக்கு எஃபிஷியண்டா வாட்டர் யூஸ் பண்ணாமல் இருக்கிறதா இன்றைய நிலவரம். We are using for agriculture, industry, for drinking water, but still we have a lot of potential. We have to effectively use. Next. So what is the way out as a solution? The first one, precision water management. தமிழ்ல செம்மணல் சாகுபடி நிறைய இடத்துல போட்டுக்கிறாங்க. உங்கள் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட்லேயும் இருக்குது. திருப்பூர் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட், வெள்ளூர் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்டில் வந்து ஒருத்தர் எங்கள் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் பிஹெச்டி பண்ணார் ப்ரிசிஷன் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரில் வந்து. ஸோ ஈவன் இன் அ ட்ரவுட் ப்ரோன் ஏரியா, even dry land, there is a possibility of increasing yield by using precision water technologies. Then drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, like that. Then water footprint assessment, it is a very technical term, especially used in the environmental economics. So that assessment has to be done. And wastewater reuse. Now that this particular technology has been developing at a faster rate, even the wastewater can be recycled, used for the productive purposes. And the regulatory framework, as I told you earlier, the rules and regulations by the government, by the pollution control board, by the water bodies, all the irrigation department, agriculture department, in a coordinated, integrated manner, that regulation has to be done. Then we have the stakeholder participation. Father Principal also told this particular point. Everybody is a stakeholder, farmer, student, industrialist, worker. We are all partners in the living. We are all partners, and we have to partnership with the nature. Then we require the water security. In drinking water, in terms of agriculture, for industry, we require this one. I think this is enough. Thank you. So exactly by 10:30 we have completed.
நான் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening and thought-provoking keynote address. To formally conclude in inaugural session, I invite Lieutenant Dr. K. Shivakumar, Associate Professor, PG and Research Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, Autonomous, Tirupattur, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning to one and all present here. It is my pleasure to propose the vote of thanks for this session. Respected dignitaries on the dais, esteemed guest, resource person, faculty members, research scholars, student, and dear everyone. It is my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion to our annual gathering and national level seminar on Indian economy at 2047 Viksit Bharat to achieve sustainable development goals. Sponsored by ICSSR SRC Hyderabad, held in the view of Platinum Jubilee celebration in our esteemed institution. At the outset, I express my deep sense of gratitude to Reverend Dr. D. Maria Andenraj, STP, Principal, Sacred Heart College, Tirupattur, for his inspiring presidential address, constant encouragement, and visionary leadership which continue to guide us in all our academic endeavors. I am extremely thankful to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Dr. V. Moganasundram, Adjunct Faculty, Jain University, Bangalore, for his insightful and thought-provoking keynote address, which greatly enriched our understanding in India's economic roadmap towards Viksit Bharat 2047. My heartfelt gratitude goes to Dr. Jacob Stalinpraj, Associate Professor and Head UG, Department of Economics, for his warm welcome address and for his academic guidance in organizing this seminar successfully. My special thanks to Dr. A. Xavier Susaraj, Convener and Organizing Secretary, Head of the Department, PG, Research Department of Economics, for his meticulous planning, dedicated efforts and leadership in coordinating this national seminar. I extend my thanks to all the resource person, paper presenters, session chairs, and participants from various institutions for their valuable contribution or active participation and intellectual engagement. My special thanks to the organizing committee members, faculty from the other colleges, non-teaching staff, student volunteers, and technical team for their wholehearted cooperation and tireless effort in making this event grand success. Finally, I thank the audience for their patient listening and active participation throughout the program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. This brings the inaugural session to a close. We now request all the participants to kindly join us for the tea break from 10:30 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Please be seated back on time for the upcoming sessions.
So, just listen. So the tea is being served outside. On my right, the girls, you can start now. The boys, just wait. The girls, you can just start. And you can go and have your tea. Once the girls depart, then we'll start with the boys. You can go and have tea and come back. As Kirtika mentioned, you take another 10 to 15 minutes, you should be back here. The volunteers are there. Madam is also there. Girls, please make fast. Start moving. Make use of the side doors, not the main back door. Make use of the side doors. For this session, we have the moderator, Dr. A. Royal Edward Williams, Associate Professor from the Department of Economics, and the resource person is Dr. S. Rajendran, sir. I request them to come onto the stage. Sir, please. This session will be handled by Dr. A. Royal Edward Williams, sir.
So very good afternoon, very good morning. Just we are getting into the first technical sessions. So I welcome all the participants into the hall. So I welcome the dignitaries on the dais and the organizing team. Before starting and before introducing our professor, let me invite our head of the department, Dr. A. Xavier Susiraj, to honor our dignity, Professor S. Rajendran sir, the Emeritus Professor of Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dindigal. Thank you, sir. Thank you for time, sir. Let me read out the glimpse of our resource person. In our midst, we have the eminent and dynamic and young academician and legendary of economics, Professor S. Rajendran sir. He is an emeritus professor, so-called the honorary professor of Dindigal Rural Institute, and he is here in our midst to highlight his expertise based on economic aspect. Let me highlight his academic and his experience. He has started his research experience in the year 1983, and he has completed more than 4 decades of research experience he has gained, and he has started his teaching from 1996, and he has successfully completed more than 33 years of teaching experience. And as a reader, he has a tenure of more than 8 years. Right now we call this one as an associate professor, and professor more than 21 years he has administered, and as a emeritus professor from June 2025 onwards, he has been taking the chair of emeritus professor, and he to his capacity he has been handle various portfolio at the national level, at the institute level, at the state level, and he has also shared his expertise from across the boundary at the foreign level. Though now we in our midst we have the dynamic and young resource person. He has come from a village, but his expertise is been reaching and he's been sharing with the national level as well as global level, right? And he has visited more than 10 countries where he has been demand in this academic purview, and he has been working. Recently, he's been working from Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dindigal. It is a national institute from 2018 onwards, and he was head of the department in Periyar University, Salem, from 2005 to 15, and he has been been a member of Senate from Senate in Periyar University, and registered in charge in Periyar University. And he was a vigilant officer and anti-corruption in Periyar University, and he was a coordinator in academic development in Periyar University, and he was a member vice chancellor convener committee for Periyar University, and he was a member syndicate Periyar University, and he was a director curriculum development cell from Periyar University, and other academic administrative assignment he has taken, and he has been serving as a UGC expert committee, and UGC is a nodal agency for the all higher education, and he has visited and he has acted as a NAC peer team chairman and member coordinator, more than 37 visit at the national level, and he has been a resource for national level eligibility examination for 3 times, and he has been an expert for evaluation of proposal and report for more than 6 times, and he has been a member for Vice Chancellor Search Committee 2 times, and he has been a member for a Vice Chancellor Convener Committee 1 time, and he has competed for Vice Chancellor position for 3 times. Yes, sir? Though he was competitive, he was become a candidate as a Vice Chancellor for 3 times, and he has become a member as a Vice Chancellor Search Committee 2 times, and Vice Chancellor Convener Committee 1 times. He has completed nearly 20 PhD scholars and 30 MPhil scholars, and he has produced MA and MBA graduate under his able leadership, more than 30, and he also trained IAS officer 7 times, and he has completed a major project from UGC and ICSR, Tamil Nadu State Planning Commission, I think 6 and above, and he has published a paper, reputed in standard paper. His research article aligned with the ethics and standard of publications, 61 at the national level and 25 at the international journals. That is standard journals. Now we call as a UGC CARE and Scopus. In those days, there was a standard journal where we could not able to we cannot able to propose for economic EPW, and he has a good number of publication in EPW, and he has also published 13 monographs and 52 referee journal, and he has written 49 chapter books. And his article and his presentation was selected as a best article in 12 academic platform, and he has organized faculty development program, 4 faculty development program. Without attending this faculty development program, no staff, no government staff or no aided staff can be elevated to next level of promotion. And he has given, he has organized national and international level conference, more than 20 conference, and he has delivered a keynote address and invited lectures, nearly 130, and he has visited foreign countries to share his expertise, and their administration, they have demanded his expertise from Spain, Vietnam, Canada, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Thailand, South Korea, and so on. It runs. Moreover, his CV is running more than 60 pages, right? And key consulting assignment undertaken from State Planning Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and State Tamil Nadu Energy Development Agency, the Government of Tamil Nadu, Chennai. And he has been served as the advisor for Technical Advisor Committee for Agroeconomic Research Center from University of Madras, and he has been member equivalent committee from Tamil Nadu State Council for Higher Educations, and he has been a member of Board of Appointment. You know what is Board of Appointment? For every university, if they want to make an appointment, the expert committee has to proceed, and expert committee has to pass the things, right? In that way, he has been serving for 13 universities, almost all university in Tamil Nadu and university across the state, right? Like Periyar University, Mysore University, our own Tiruvallur University, Manomani Sundaranath University, Bharatiyar University, Bharatdasan University, Madurai Kamaraj University, Algappa University, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Calicut University, Avinash Niga University, and Kannur University, Kumaun Universities. And he has been board of appointment in 5 college, JKK College Namakkal, Sri Sarda Women College Salem, Kandasamy Kandar College Vellore, and AVVM Sri Pushpam College Pundi. And he has been recipient of more than 10 prestigious award. And moreover, his CV is running more than 60 pages. I took nearly 3 hours to concise the content to introduce him. And moreover, we have the eminent speaker and eminent economic legendary in our midst. He is very passionate and he is very straightforward. He is lining with straightforward and ethical norms in terms of academic and in terms of research. With this small introduction, let me invite our resource person, Dr. S. Rajendran sir, Emirate Professor, to deliver his lecture. I have been following him last 25 years. Right from my academic, when I started my academic venture from undergraduation, UG, from post-graduation, he is guiding me, right? Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
அனைவருக்கும் எனது இனிய காலை வணக்கங்கள். Respected head of the department, Dr. Sujay Raj. I know him since 90. We first met in Isaac, Bangalore. He was a small boy like. Now I became quite old with full of grey hairs. He is having dark black. That is the difference between us. And we have with us Professor Mohana Sundaram, who took pain to mold me to this level, particularly in this area of research, rural development, agriculture. We used to fight in Isaac campus whenever we go for walking, sometimes in the evening. He is with us. We have learned faculty members from this college. And my dear young students, friends, once again, very pleasant morning, one and all. I am given the responsibility to share some of my thoughts on Indian agricultural development with sustainability as the focus area. I have some reservations to understand the concepts like Vikshit Bharat 2047. The word itself is very difficult for me to pronounce, though I stayed in Hindi hinterland for 2 years, 2 full years. It is very difficult for me to understand. So some of other words which are related to agriculture and also the sustainability, it is very difficult. Many of you know that the sustainability concept, the sustainable development, sustainable agriculture development started getting popularity among academics sometimes after 1986, when the Consultative Committee on Global Agriculture defined the term sustainable agriculture development. You may recollect, your principal also pointed out, your head of the department, Dr. Jacob, also pointed out the sustainability issue. And more precisely, Professor Mohana Sundaram emphasized the difficulties in understanding the concept of sustainability. I remember when I joined in the University of Mysore in 1996, October, there was an international conference organized by the Department of Studies in Economics and Cooperation. And there was legendaries from agricultural universities, and I was a small boy with young blood. I put forth my arguments on the national perspectives on sustainable agricultural development, focusing on organic agriculture, because my first paper, full paper, was accepted by the Economic and Political Weekly, the prestigious journal, in the year 1996. And I took some gist from that. I started arguing in front of many legendaries, including Professor Bisalaya, Professor Rajagopalan from TNAU, and a lot of many people from Delhi and also from the government, there was a heated debate precisely on the question of how do we estimate, how do we account the sustainability in agriculture. Now, if you take different systems within agriculture, you find the economics of scale, returns, and other perspectives you can just observe and write. When it comes to the question of sustainability, it is extremely difficult to measure and quantify. This is the level of sustainability for cultivating sorghum crop in Tirupattur district during Kharif season as compared to neighboring Vellore district, right? So, within the same crop, you find a different scale of sustainability, and therefore for country like India, which has diverse agroclimatic zones, agroclimatic environment, it is very difficult to capture. Therefore, legendaries like Nadkarni, Partha Dasgupta, they have been attempting, and till now there is no concrete formula to say, yes, this is a system which is more sustainable in agriculture. And afterwards, it is a very naked truth that the sustainability has entered into every sphere of academics. Now here today, I am going to discuss the macro perspectives of agricultural development in India, the background in which the sector has grown far and wide, and also the challenges the agriculture sector has been facing in the recent past. And finally, I took some clue from sustainable agriculture practices to some extent, and tried to say that this gives some solace to the present scenario of crisis in agriculture. This is what I structured my presentation. Now, if you talk about the government's programs and policies, schemes, etc., we have n number of programs. And the other day I was just browsing the government's document on the agriculture sector. Even almost 3.5 decades of research in agricultural economics, I couldn't follow the schemes and the programs, the various committees and the commissions launched for the purpose of agricultural development. It is extremely difficult to understand and capture in itself form. Number of programs are there, number of schemes are there. In spite, agriculture sector has been meeting with the challenges, and distress is mounting, not only in the drought prone areas, but also in agriculturally prosperous areas like Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, and some parts of South India, including our own Kaveri Delta. Therefore, something seriously needed in the agriculture sector. I think the government of India as well as various provincial governments are making serious attempt to push this sector, but the end result is not very encouraging. So with this backdrop, in my verbatim, I don't know how many of you could capture the recent development in agriculture sector, but with my limited understanding on this, let me present the whole perspective of agricultural sector, and then take you to understand how best the sustainable agriculture development practice can give some solution to this sector, crucial sector. Next slide. I structured my presentation introducing the issue, and then what are the systems, what are the programs, policies have been launched over the years for the development of agriculture, and then what are the paradoxical issues that confront the Indian agriculture system, and then how do we aim for exporting this sector. Friends, as you all know, now India is self-sustained in terms of food grain production, and also on other domain areas like livestock, forestry, fisheries, etc. And in this context, we started exporting to various countries. As we all know, the US President has been threatening that India will be attracting more than 500% of tariff. And there is some tension among the exporters in agricultural sector. But overall, nothing can be stopped from India because USA market is estimated to be around 6% for rice. India has been exporting rice to 147 countries in the world. Therefore, he certainly may not impose serious problem for India. However, some quarters there are some hinges we have. And then the financial incentive in the form of Prime Minister Kisan incentive to the tune of 6,000 rupees per vulnerable farmer. And then the core issue is listed in the penultimate section on sustainable farming system. And finally, I conclude by listing out the half a dozen issues for promoting agriculture in a holistic perspective. Next slide, please. Now, friend, during December sometimes, there was an editorial in the Tamil Hindu where even if you take very convincing growth and development in agriculture sector, this is not enough. We have to go for beyond. How do we make it more sustainable? This is the point raised in the editorial of Tamil Hindu. Next slide, please. You please read another editorial appeared in Dinamani, which is titled as Sagubudi Mattume Sadhana Alla. Now, last month, India emerged as the major paddy producer in the world, followed by China. China was dominating, now India started taking the chair. Now India is the #1 country in terms of aggregate paddy production in the world. So the Dinamani newspaper listed out, yes, it is good that India started emerging as a major hub for paddy production. But what about other issues? As you all know, paddy and sugarcane are the water guzzling crops in the world. For producing 1 kg of paddy, we are utilizing 15,000 liters of water. Previous speaker, Professor Mohan listed out water wastage in agriculture sector. Now, how this can be minimized? How much the opportunity cost we are excessively spending in agriculture sector? These are the issues that need to be addressed. Therefore, the newspaper titled the editorial as Sagubudi Mattume Sadhana Alla. That means there are other issues that daunt the agriculture sector which need to be addressed by both policy as well as technological side. Next slide. Now this is the slide which shows this recent map prepared by Government of India, which lists out the major rice growing states. Tamil Nadu has very less role because the diversity of cropping pattern is very high in Tamil Nadu, and therefore rice cultivation is dominated by Andhra, Telangana, West Bengal, Odisha, etc. Next slide. Now friends, let me list out the major challenges from the perspective of sustainable development in agriculture. Now, the climate change, global warming and the climate change is a major challenge that affect every aspect in agriculture sector, whether it is crop husbandry, animal husbandry, forestry, fisheries, everything, the global warming and the climate change has been affecting. You may recollect, a couple of months ago, mangoes were flooding the market. மாங்காய் உற்பத்தி வந்து அதிகமாகி டூரிங் ஆஃப் சீசன். எங்கள் பகுதியில் கார் காயின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க மாங்காய். டூரிங் ஆஃப் சீசனில் கல்டிவேட் ஆனிச்சுன்னா கிராப் வந்ததுனாக்க வி சே கார் காய், பட் இந்த டேஸ்ட் அண்ட் ஆல் வில் பி டிஃபரெண்ட். ஸோ இட் இஸ் யூனிக். லைக் மேங்கோ சீசன், வி காட் tons of mangoes to the market, and the mangoes price also dropped severely. அதாவது சீசன் இல்லாத காலங்களில் காய்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்குது விவசாய பொருட்கள். Maybe due to the intervention of technology, but the large influence comes from the climate change in specific. The recent report on the an agenda for climate risk themes released sometimes in the month of October on the National Conclave on Sustainable Food Systems warned that by 2050, around 20% of the crop production will be at risk. By 2050, 80, 50% of the food grain production will be at risk. This is an alarming figure. Of course, we may get some relief from the scientists in terms of techniques and the technological intervention to set right. But this is the alarming situation if you go by understanding the risk that comes from climate change in agriculture sector. Now, there are plenty of issues in the sustainable agriculture system that we can see, look into later. But the warning is very severe because India is having more of vulnerable segments of farmers like small marginal farmers. They cannot withstand the above, and therefore this area needs to be addressed. Next slide, please. Now here I have listed out the impact, how the climate change will have serious impact on different dimensions like crop cultivation, animal husbandry, fish resources both inland as well as marine, and water resources, soil degradation, rural livelihoods, and ultimately the economic impact. If you get involved, entwined with the adverse challenges on the above listed half a dozen issues, ultimately the whole economic system will be affected. That is how I have listed out, and those who are interested can have the soft copy I leave with the organizers. You can go through them. Next one. Now this is the very interesting information I got from the literature. Professor Mohan Sundaram did research on credit delivery in agriculture. He is well versed in that. Only 2 points I would like to highlight here. If you see the point 5, debt among cultivator households. Cultivator households, we mean the farmers who are taking up agricultural activities. Of the indebtedness, around 40% of the farmers are indebted. The farmers, I mean the crop raiser, and also the people who are depending on livestock rearing. On the above point 4, on the extreme right, you see 10.2% of the credit comes from non-banking financial institutions. Though it is fairly less as compared to formal to the tune of 17.8, the magnitude, the overall magnitude is high for this class, debt among rural households. Rural households include farmers as well as agricultural laborers. Next slide. A very interesting announcement made by the Government of India, recently, very ambitious plan. Now this comes in the wake of Viksit Bharat 2047. Now your head of the department, Professor Susiraj, listed out 4 pillars: farmers, women, then youth, and other pillar I forgot. Farmers took center stage here, and in spite of the confident level the Government of India has, subsequently, very recently, a couple of months ago, the Government of India announced a 6-year scheme covering 100 identified districts in India with the tune of 20,000 crores budget, a whooping budget amount for developing agriculture sector. Again, they have listed out 4 domains here. I have listed out the aspects like focusing on post-harvest storage, improving irrigation facilities, enhancing farm productivity, and stepping up credit facilities to the farmers. Friends, since 1950s, we have been glamoring, we have been insisting, we have been recommending the credit system should be strengthened and to reduce the risk among the resource poor farmers. Almost 75 years are over now. Ever since the All India Rural Debt and Survey Committee was made, committee report was made public. Now, as per our information in the previous slide, still 10.2% of the agricultural households are relying on non-banking financial institutions. You go to the first point, focusing on augmenting post-harvest loss. Many empirical studies brought out the alarming figure of 30% loss during post-harvest phase in the Indian agriculture system. அப்படின்னா 100 ரூபாய் மதிப்புள்ள பொருட்களை விவசாயிகள் உற்பத்தி பண்ணாங்கன்னா 30% ரூபாய் மதிப்புள்ள பொருட்கள் வீணாகுதான். எலி, மழை, வெள்ளம், சரியான சேமிப்பு வசதி இல்லாத காரணங்கள்னால. அதாவது உற்பத்தி பண்ணிட்டோம் by putting all our effort including crucial inputs like water, fertilizers, organic manure and our own human labor, we produce, but due to paucity of storage facilities and also unscientific method of storage transportation, we incur huge loss to the tune of 30%. அது வந்து கிரிமினல் வேஸ்ட். அது உற்பத்தி பண்ணதுக்கு பிறகு அதை பாதுகாத்து வைக்க முடியாமல் ஸ்டோரேஜ் வேஸ்ட் போயிட்டு இருக்குது. பட் இப்போ இந்த போர் சிஸ்டத்தில் கவர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் இந்தியா ஹேஸ் பீன் ஃபோக்கஸிங் ஆன் தட். யூ ஆல் நோ தட் there is a separate ministry for cooperation, right? They have ambitious plan of going to develop world class storage facilities in India in the coming years. Let us wait and see. Now this scheme is going to focus in the identified 100 districts. அதில் வந்து pull and push இருக்கும், பாலிட்டிக்ஸ் இருக்கும், ரூலிங் பார்ட்டி ரூல்டு ஸ்டேட்ஸ், என்ன வேறு அப்போசிஷன் பார்ட்டி ரூல்டு ஸ்டேட்ஸ், அந்த மாதிரியான இஷ்யூஸ் எல்லாம் வரும். பட் ஐ டோன்ட் நோ how far they are going to take it up. But it is an ambitious plan where the whooping amount of 24,000 crores per annum for 6 years, 6 வருடத்துக்கு வந்து அதை முதலீடு பண்ண போகிறாங்க. We have to wait and see. It also reminds us that there is a serious problem in agriculture sector. That is why the government of India started concentrating by focusing on 4 issues. Next one. Now friends, if you just go through the literature, over the years, the government of India, also various state governments, on their part, introduced many schemes and programs, policies, etc., to have a holistic development in agriculture sector. Now, we all know that the first 5-year plan gave more importance for developing agriculture sector through building large dams and other infrastructure, rural infrastructure for the betterment of agriculture sector. And consequently, yes, of course, the cropping intensity, also the irrigation intensity is improved, and ultimately the food production improved, and now we are almost self-sufficient, started exporting to foreign countries. And also, we started giving emphasis through technological intervention for fine cereals, paddy and wheat. As you all know, during the earlier phases of Green Revolution during mid-60s, we attached the importance of our 2 major crops, paddy and wheat, because these 2 are stable food grains for Indian populace, and therefore these 2 crops got utmost attention. And of course now other crops like minor millets, oil seeds, pulses, they are also getting attention in the form of assured market, assured prices, etc. by the government. And another intervention was in the resource endowed regions. If you look at the information, initial stages, the policy intervention was directed and targeted towards the rich resource endowed regions like Punjab, Haryana, some parts of South India, and largely the rain-fed agriculture was left out from the interventions. And there was a policy shift from food grain production to food grain security to nutrition security. And of course, now we started focusing on this issue because rural health system is very strong, but at the same time, other issues related to nutritional security haunting the pregnant women, and also the child malnutrition is there, undernutrition is there. Therefore, now the government of India and also the state governments are concentrating on ensuring nutritional security by promoting interventions. And major shift has been on the post-harvested technology. And then, as you all know, in the world, India is the second largest depositor of germ blossoms, both plants and animals. We have around 4,71,561 accessories of 2,157 species of plants and animals. We have both plant animal, national plant animal resources and also national national animal genetic resources in India. In fact, we have two units, one in Hyderabad, another one in Delhi, the second largest in the world. First one is somewhere in Switzerland. Next one. And all these started paying some dividends in terms of production as well as the productivity. I have listed out the green revolution techniques and technologies, and also various revolutions like blue, yellow, and also white revolution. White revolution refers to increasing dairy. Blue revolution targeting towards improving the fish production, marine fish production as well as inland fish production. And also yellow revolution is focusing on pulses and oil seeds. Though we have separate revolution, technological mission and all, still India is lacking in terms of meeting its own demand in the area of oil seeds and pulses. And the technology mission on oil seeds and pulses, technology mission on horticultural crops. I think on horticultural crops too, we have achieved more than 350 million tons of horticultural products, though the post-harvest loss is a serious issue here too. And we are second to export in a large scale, followed by China. Largest network of ICR research institutes in India. We have more than 400 all India level research institutes on different crops, animals, etc. In addition to these, our state universities, including Punjab Agricultural University, the agriculture universities in Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, we are pioneer in developing new crop cultivars and also other techniques and technologies for enhancing productivity in different aspects of agriculture sector, though not impressive as compared to international level in terms of productivity. Next one. Next slide. And in addition to these public funded institutions, we do have the development organizations, leading agencies like BAIF, MyRADA, etc. All these also contributed for enhancing the productivity levels in a holistic perspective. And other issues, all those things I have listed out, like per drop, per crop, and doubling the farmers' income by 2022, etc. What comes to my mind is they appear to be just mere slogans rather than taking with the spirit to the farmers, so that the efficiency level of farm production and productivity will be improved and enhanced. Now, in addition to these programs and schemes, there are various committees and commissions launched over the years and set up over the years for the interventions across different systems in agriculture sector. The first one was in the year 1926, earlier, which comprehended the agriculture development in India across north and south and also west and east. They documented on different aspects in agriculture sector and brought out the report on Royal Commission on Agriculture report. And the first Agriculture Reforms Committee in the year 1946, headed by J.C. Kumarappa, Dantwala and N.G. Ranga, they also submitted a report to the Government of India to improve the agriculture sector. And afterwards, All India Rural Credit and Survey Committee in the year 1955 submitted its report, and where it raised an alarm that the non-banking financial institutions play a major role, and therefore the system like cooperative institutions should come forward to provide a formal institutional source to the farmers. And later, the National Commission on Agriculture in the year 1976 brought out 19 volumes. Each volume focuses on separate aspects like credit, technology, and crop cultivation, etc. Similarly, we have All India economic research centers located in six centers in India. Then Vaikalak committee in 2022 recommended for setting up of farmers producers organization across the country. Now they have been doing very well in some aspects. National Commission on Farmers headed by M.S. Swaminathan, you all know that. It recommended very strongly that 50% of the cost should be added to the original cost so that the farmers will be benefited a lot. But though it was submitted almost 10 years ago, nothing has been moved from that. And then now we have a separate cooperative university in Irma, but we have to wait and see how far they are going to take it up. And all these played a major role in enhancing both the productivity as well as production. Though we have got convincing results in terms of aggregate production, the per unit value of productivity is very dismal, and these need to be corrected. Next slide. Now I have summed up the agricultural revolutions in a nutshell form from 1960 till 2017, and I have listed out 2 or 3 committee reports, including M.S. Swaminathan committee reports and ALEC committee report, etc. And each aspect focused on separate dimension, which is listed out in the third column. Next one. Now, immediately after the, not immediately after the, in the midst of COVID scenario, the government of India came forward and introduced different schemes with the budget allocation. This is what I have given here for specific aspects. And some of them are apolitical and some of them are really serious. And we have to wait and see how far they have made the ground level impact on different aspects like the crop cultivation and also like micro food enterprises, etc. I would like to make a mention here. The government of Tamil Nadu a couple of years ago announced a very innovative and useful program called Post-Harvest Corridor between Trichy and Nagapattinam. I think 3 years are over, if my memory goes. And not even the base work has been started there. You all know this region is located in the central part of the state, and where the post-harvest technology is to be improved, where we can connect between southern part of Tamil Nadu with central Tamil Nadu by developing good infrastructure for post-harvest processing issues. But so far, not even a tiny movement has been taken up on that aspect, and it is kept pending. And I don't know whether it is due to lack of political will or budget constraint. And similar to that, there are hundreds and hundreds of programs and schemes are left aside, though the announcement has been made. Next slide, please. Now, going by the empirical evidences, we could see that India has achieved tremendous progress on different aspects within agriculture sector. The first element is cropping intensity and irrigation intensity improved tremendously, and this has resulted in enhancing the production level. Friends, with around 55 million hectares of land, we could produce around 50 million tons of food grains during 50s. Now imagine the cropping intensity improved, irrigation intensity improved to a greater scale, and consequently we could produce 350 million tons of food grains as of now. This year we are going to surpass 350 million tons of food grains. And all these resulted in a big change, big transformation in agriculture sector. And despite all these, still around 20% of the population live in below poverty line, especially in rural areas. And next slide, please. Let me just take you to understand the current scenario of agriculture sector. On the right hand side, you find the picture which depicts different aspects like crop cultivation, livestock production, fishing and aquaculture, and overall agriculture. Very dismally, very disturbingly, in the year 2018 and 19, the starting period of COVID, the crop cultivation went to negative, the production went to negative. Though it reversed during the second year due to some green shoot in agriculture sector during COVID period, only the fish sector, the marine as well as inland fish sector is making convincing impact in terms of enhancing the production in the country, followed by animal husbandry. You can see the data here, but only one point I would like to emphasize, despite the fact that our agriculture is performing well, the paradoxical situation still prevails. It means of our total GDP, agriculture contributes roughly about 12%. How much? Just 12%. Whereas in terms of employment, agriculture contributes to the tune of around 45%. It means 48% மக்கள் 12% வருமானத்தை வைத்துக்கொண்டு பிழைப்பு நடத்துகிறோம். அதுதான் இட் ஷோஸ். அப்போ பாக்கி எந்த செக்டார் வந்து அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் இதுக்கு ஜிடிபி கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுது? சர்வீஸ் செக்டார் அண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட்டுக்கு எந்த செக்டார் அதிகமாக கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுது? நோ, எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட்டுக்கு அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் செக்டார். அதுதான் இங்கே பேரடாக்ஸ், ரைட்? தேர்ஃபோர் we got to do something. அதாவது எந்த அளவுக்கு வருமானம் டோட்டல் ஜிடிபியில் குறைஞ்சிருக்குதோ அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் செக்டாருக்கு, அதே அளவுக்கு எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட்லேயும் குறைஞ்சிருந்ததுன்னா there is a shift from agriculture sector to industry and service-னு அர்த்தம் ப்ரொபோஷனேட்டாக. அது இல்லை, தட் இஸ் அ ப்ராப்ளம், ரைட்? நார்மலி எந்த எக்கானமி எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கனாலும் there will be a consistent steady transformation from agriculture sector to manufacturing, from manufacturing to service, both for GDP as well as GDP composition as well as employment. But இங்கே ரிவர்ஸ் இருக்குது நம்ம இந்தியாவில். That is the problem where we have still large stock of people in agriculture sector to the tune of 48%. லாஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 70 million tons of food grain stock நம்மகிட்ட இருக்கு. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் அதிகமாக நீங்கள் ஸ்டாக்கை வச்சுருந்தீங்கனாலும் ப்ராப்ளம், பிகாஸ் ரோடன்ஸ் வந்து ஸ்பாயில் பண்ணும். அந்த ஸ்டோரேஜில் வந்து மாய்ச்சர் கண்டென்ட் அதிகமாக இருந்ததுன்னா பிரச்சனையாகும். பட் இட் இஸ் inevitable because India is having large population and therefore to meet any eventuality in terms of food grain shortage, we keep stock of 70 million tons. அதாவது அந்த 70 million tons வந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 3 to 4 monthsக்கு வந்து நமக்கு போதும், even if you are not producing grains in the farms. And therefore as precautionary measure we keep this much quantum of food grains in the storage. இது எதுக்கு நான் எம்பசிஸ் பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னாக்க, we are very cautious in terms of ensuring food security as well, but at the same time the management cost, transportation, storage is also increasing, and therefore something need to be done in this area as well. Next slide please. Now come to the twist of agriculture sector. Why we have to discuss about sustainability for taking forward the 2047 through Vikshit Bharat for sustaining 30 to 40 trillion US dollar economy. நமக்கு எப்போவுமே அந்த ட்ரில்லியன், பில்லியன், மில்லியன், டாலர், பவுண்ட் ஸ்டெர்லிங் இதை பற்றி தான் நம்ம பேசுகிறதுக்கு முயற்சி பண்ணுறோமே தவிர, நம்ம நாட்டில் சாகுபடி பண்ணக்கூடிய ராகியை பற்றியோ சோளத்தை பற்றியோ, ரைட், பணத்தை பற்றியோ பேசுகிறது இல்லை, ரைட்? We talk about only dollars, trillion dollars and things like. நம்ம பாப்புலேஷன் growth வந்து roughly it is around 2.3%, right? If you take the national average. நம்மளுடைய agriculture sector growth எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? நம்மளுடைய GDP growth எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? Why do you bother about targeting 10%, 12%, 2-digit growth? I don't understand. நம்ம பாப்புலேஷன் growth வந்து 2.3% இருக்கு, ரைட்? வளர்ச்சி வந்து மக்கள் தொகை வளர்ச்சி 2.3% இருக்கு. நம்மளுடைய பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சி இப்போ அரௌண்ட் 7%. பட் we are targeting for 2-digit growth. It means we have to put our extra effort, extra resources to generate more production, to produce more and to consume and also to export. அங்கே தான் காந்திய பொருளாதாரம் வந்து மறுக்கப்படுகிறது, நிராகரிக்கப்படுகிறது, right? Despite the fact that the ideology of J.C. Kumarappa was instilled in the planning. Therefore, if you see, Now we started getting different aspects. இந்த அக்ரிகல்ச்சரில் வந்து நீங்கள் கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக இன்டென்சிவாக கல்டிவேட் பண்ணீங்கன்னாக்க வாட்டர் லாகிங், சாலினேஷன் அண்ட் அல்டிமேட்லி திஸ் லீட்ஸ் டு டெசர்டிஃபிகேஷன். விவசாயத்துக்கு அருகதை இல்லாத நிலங்களாக நம்ம நிலங்களை மாற்றிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறோம் வித் இன்டென்சிவ் கல்டிவேஷன். இதனால் நம்மளுடைய பொருளாதார உற்பத்தி, அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் உற்பத்தி வந்து எய்தர் நிலையாக இருக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு அல்லது குறைய ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. எங்கே? அக்ரிகல்ச்சரலி ப்ராஸ்பரஸ் ரீஜியன்ஸ் வேர் தி வாட்டர், அதாவது அஷ்யூர்டு இரிகேஷன் இருக்கிற இடங்கள்லேயே நம்மளுடைய உற்பத்தி குறைய ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. கெமிக்கலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் ஃபார்மிங், அதாவது ரச்சல் கர்சன் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கெமிஸ்ட் வந்து 1962 சைலண்ட் ஸ்ப்ரிங் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு புக்கு எழுதியிருந்தாங்க. அது கூட எனக்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் தெரியல, ஒரு முறை வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் போட்டிருந்தேன். ப்ரொஃபஸர் மோகன சுந்தரம் வந்து டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி அனுப்பியிருந்தார். மௌன வசந்தம் இல்லையா, மௌன வசந்தம் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு புக்கில் சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. அவங்க நம்மலாம் வந்து பசுமை புரட்சி ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே அந்த அம்மா ரொம்ப கிரிட்டிக்கலாக எழுதியிருக்கிறாங்க. எந்த அளவுக்கு கெமிக்கல் இன்புட்ஸ் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரில் வந்து அண்ட் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் நான் ஜுடிஷியலாக, அன்சைன்டிஃபிக்காக, இர்ரேஷனலாக யூட்டிலைஸ் பண்ணுற பொழுது எந்த அளவுக்கு பிரச்சனைகள் வரும் அப்படிங்கிறத 1962 அவங்க ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணி வார்ன் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. இன்றைக்கி என்ன ஆகுது? நம்ம சயின்டிஸ்ட் ஆர் ஃபைண்டிங் எவிடன்சஸ் டு ஸ்டேட் தட் உலகத்திலேயே புனிதமான தாய்ப்பால் வந்து கெட்டு போயிடுச்சுங்கிறாங்க. தாய்ப்பால் வந்து கண்டாமினேட்டட் வித் கெமிக்கல் ரெசிடியூஸ் அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. திஸ் இஸ் தி லேட்டஸ்ட் ஃபைண்டிங். அந்த அளவுக்கு நம்ம வந்து அன்சைன்டிஃபிக்காகவும் எக்ஸஸாகவும் இன்டிஸ்கிரிமினேட்டாகவும் கெமிக்கல்ஸை வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ரைட். ரீசெண்ட்லி ஐ விசிட்டட் எ ஃபார்ம் வேர் the chemical inputs are utilized for grass, அதாவது அந்த வீடு வந்து வீடு சைடாக யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. அது நீங்கள் வீடு சைடாக யூஸ் பண்ணுற பொழுது வீடு மட்டும்தான் போகும் நீங்கள் நினச்சிக்க வேண்டாம். இன் தி லாங் ரன் திஸ் வில் கிரியேட் ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் பவர் அண்ட் அல்டிமேட்லி வீட்ஸ் வில் கோ ஆஃப் அண்டு கிராப்ஸ் வில் பி டிகே. அது இதனுடைய வளர்ச்சி குறைய ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். ரைட். பட் எங்கே பார்த்தாலும் இந்த கெமிக்கல் கிடைக்குது. இப்போ அந்த புல்லெல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மஞ்சள் கலரில் இருக்குது அந்த பண்ணையில். But of course the crop is growing, but in the process, in the long run, this also will be affected to a large scale. And then groundwater depletion, Mohanaswaram sir சொன்னாரு. And then depletion in biodiversity, both the flora and the fauna. Every half an hour in India, we have been losing one species. உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் தெரியும், India is endowed with one of the hot spots of biodiversity, Western Ghats. அதில் வந்து இல்லாத ஸ்பீசிஸே இல்லை. எவ்ரி ஸ்பீசிஸ் ஆர் அவைலபிள், பட் அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி டியூ டு புவர் அண்ட் அன்சைன்டிஃபிக் மெத்தட் ஆஃப் கன்சர்வேஷன், எவ்ரி 30 minutes one species is being lost. And ultimately the farmers are agitated due to distress in agriculture sector, and farmers started declaring holidays. நம்ம ஆசிரியர்கள் மாணவர்கள் ஹாலிடே எடுக்கிற மாதிரி விவசாயிகள் ஹாலிடே எடுத்தாங்கன்னா, விடுமுறை எடுத்தாங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? What will happen to food production? Already started agitating farmers and they declared holidays in paddy growing areas of Andhra Pradesh. Next one. And all these are very common issues in agriculture sector where we encounter income and employment. I have said unfavorable terms of trade in agriculture sector. The price spread is 50%. The farmers are realizing only 50% of their worth of product, and the post-harvest loss is 30%. And inefficient use of resources, including water, and ultimately we get less input, less output from the agriculture sector. Next one. Next one. This will come later. Next one. Now, here we have the sustainable agricultural practices where we have different components. Next one. This is related to our prospect in agricultural trade. I have the recent data for the financial 2025, though there is some deceleration from the agricultural food agricultural export promotion council. We could get this data for recent years from 16 to 25, almost 9 years. the performance is very impressive, though the contribution to total export is less. It is hovering around just 2% of India's export. Next one. This is financial incentive of 6,000 rupees given to the farmers, and where we have some difficulties, I have listed out in the next slide, where the magnitude of farmers, the scale of farmers, the volume of farmers continues decelerating, though the government of India is claiming that they are extending their facilities to all vulnerable farmers. I have the reports as well. Next one. Next. You see on the fourth column, where we have number of farmers benefited with 2,000 each per phase, because it is given once in 3 months for whole year, and immediately after the first phase, around 1.74 crore farmers were dropped from the list, and subsequently during the third phase, 3.25 crore farmers were dropped. It means continuously, though the fragmentation of land has been increasing, though the farmers taking up agricultural activities are increasing, the number of beneficiaries from the list has been dropping considerably. It means either it is deliberate attempt or misidentification of beneficiaries, the farmers are dropped. Next slide please. Here I have the data for prosperous state of Punjab, where the number of farmers from 23 lakh to just 11 lakh, it dropped. You can see the third column, and also the amount dispersed, the amount released, the amount given to the farmers also dropped considerably from 466 to 387 crores. Rendulayume number of beneficiaries, also the amount dispersed to the beneficiaries decelerated in Punjab. This is a case where our data entry irundhathu, somehow I missed it. Even during the BJP ruled state of Uttar Pradesh, both the farmers as well as the quantity of amount given to the farmers dropped considerably. Even their own party ruled states like UP. அதாவது இது வேண்டுமென்றே செய்யப்படுகிறதா அல்லது மிஸ் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷனா என்னங்கிறது எனக்கு தெரியல. But overall, the deceleration is taking place across India. Next, now let us move on to understand the question of sustainable agriculture. Jacob sir, can I take another 10 minutes or he is ready? Okay, I will just speed it up. Though it is a crucial issue, the soft copy will be left with your organizers. You can download and refer it. We have why we brought sustainable agriculture here, because of these reasons. Next slide. We have low external input and sustainable agriculture practice, which is one of the systems in sustainable agriculture. Organic farming system, ecological agriculture system, biodynamic agriculture method, natural farming, no tillage farming. There are half a dozen farming systems which are sustainable in India. Next one. We have different properties for different agriculture system. We have conventional, modern and organic, where we have different aspects like depending on external inputs, synthetic inputs, application of energy, output obtained from farming systems, human labor use, net farm income, and then farm diversity, farm sustainability. During my introductory remark, I made very clear that it is for the sustainability, particularly in agriculture, and despite we took up that issue also here in the 8th point as farm sustainability. We have given where they stand, each farm stands, and ultimately you find that the organic farming system is fairly convenient by keeping the sustainability question in mind. Next slide please. What are the positive aspects, what are the prospects of the organic farming or sustainable farming system? Like, it is economical, it is adaptable, it is feasible, it is sustainable, though it is under evaluation, integrated, increasing demand due to awareness and also increase farming, increase the disposable income, and also the adverse effect of modern farming systems. All these lead to promote sustainable agriculture development on a big way. Next one. However, there are difficulties. I have listed out 10 to 12 difficulties, very meager resource allocation, and also the transition is very slow. It needs to be speeded up from the 5 years to 3 years or 4 years, etc. And the poor marketing network, all these lead to adulteration, etc. Both for input as well as output, we have difficulties, and these need to be addressed by the policy intervention and also schemes, etc. Next slide. Way forward, I have listed out around 20 issues. This not only targeted towards sustainable agriculture system, but also for general agriculture development on different aspects of agricultural development in India. Next slide. I think we come to the final stage because our chief guest is going to address you all through video conferencing. And I thank the organizers for having given me an opportunity to share a few random thoughts on the whole perspective of agriculture development in India, the challenges facing this sector, and also how best the sustainable agriculture development practices can come forward as a rescue mechanism to the agricultural development in India. With this remark, I thank all of you for your patient listening. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank the current session moderator, Dr. Errol Edward Williams, and also sir for spending his valuable time, and in a very crisp manner, sir has presented this wonderful topic. So thank you once again, sir. Thank you. So now we will move on to the next session. Sir has already joined. Dr. L. Venkatachalam sir has already joined to introduce our next session resource person. May I now invite Dr. A. Susera sir to introduce.
Just I am going to introduce you to the audience. Dear and respected Professor Dr. L. Venkatachalam, the acting chairman, secretary of the Madras Institute of Development Studies. Now just I want to give you a small biodata about Dr. L. Venkatachalam. He is a very good friend of mine, and he is a Fulbright scholar. He did all his education, MA, MPhil in Annamalai University and PhD in Madras Institute of Development Studies. He had a lot of working experience, and he has received many awards and fellowships. Particularly, he has received 7 fellowships, 4 awards, and he has published 2 books and 29 journals, and 7 edited books he has published. With this small biodata, I am happy to introduce Dr. L. Venkatachalam. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Xavier. Thank you very much for inviting me for this important workshop. So, could you hear me? Could the audience hear my voice? Hello? Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me for this important workshop. Some echo is coming, please. Maybe you can switch off. Okay. So today I'm supposed to have come in person for this workshop and delivered this lecture, to the audience offline. Unfortunately, there was a change in my program because our director is out of station and is touring Europe on an official visit, and therefore he wanted me to kind of take care of institute activities in his absence, and therefore I have to be here. That is why I requested Dr. Xavier to give me this kind of online kind of option. So therefore, I apologize for not being with you today and being with you only through online meeting. So, as I said, that this workshop, which deals with SDGs, a very important workshop. Therefore, I am going to talk about the importance of managing the environment for achieving almost all 17 goals of the Sustainable Development goals actually. So, indeed, it is the environment which supports both directly as well as indirectly many goals, almost all goals, all 17 goals. And therefore, I am going to focus on how managing the environment efficiently, equitably, and sustainably would help us achieve these goals in a very realistic manner. So let me just run through this slide and sorry. So sorry, not this one. It is sharing my PPT. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to now close it. Okay, 1 minute. There is some problem with this presentation. Oh, okay, yes. So this is what I wanted to share. Yes. I hope you'll be able to see this slide. So basically, I'm going to talk about environmental governance that is very important for achieving sustainable development goals. If you look at the development, especially the sustainable development literature, what we find is that the development and the environment should go hand in hand. So there is no trade-off between development. There should be no trade-off between development and environment. In the 70s and 80s, most of the policies, development policies, whether it is industrial policy, trade policy, agricultural policy, whatever the kind of policy that we talk about, was basically based on one particular aspect, namely there is a trade-off between environment and development. That means that when you try to protect the environment, it will affect the economic development. And when you enhance economic development, and it will affect the environment. So this trade-off was very much there in almost all policies. And then most of the governments, they decided to give importance for development rather than environment, because there is a trade-off which is involved. So if you enhance development, it will affect the environment adversely and vice versa. So what's the solution? The solution is, let us focus more on development. So there is an hypothesis in environmental economics and development economics, which is called environmental Kushner's hypothesis, which you must be familiar with. So this Kushner curve hypothesis suggests that when we grow in terms of income, when we aim at increasing the GDP, we should not be concerned about the environmental problems. When we develop the economy initially, during the initial development of GDP or its variants like per capita income, etc., there is some amount of pollution which will increase along with the development indicators like GDP. That needs to be accepted. So when we grow, there will be environmental problem which need to be accepted. Once we grow to a particular level, right? For example, once we achieve a particular level of per capita income in the economy, then we will be able to restore the lost environment. We will be able to buy environment back. For example, nowadays you might have seen a lot of people buying canned water. So they are no longer depend on the water supplied by the government, which is usually of poor quality. So now, even if that public supply is of good quality, then people are not willing to use that water for drinking purpose. It's only the poorer people who are willing to use that water for drinking purpose. Nowadays, most of the families are buying canned water. That is because most of these families, households, they have got adequate income to buy canned water. Similarly, if you look at the the behavior of many of the households, what we find is that now, if you want to kind of have cool environment, then you buy AC. Okay, so the argument behind the environmental Kushner's curve hypothesis was that when you have income, you will be able to buy the environment and its quality. For example, right now in Delhi, you have severe air pollution. Air pollution affects everybody because it's a public bad. You have public goods like public bad. I mean, air quality problem is a public bad. So what happens is that many of the rich people, they go out, they go to Rajasthan, or they go to Goa, for example, buy land, construct good houses, stay there, enjoying all the benefits there, namely pure quality air and other benefits. Okay, so rich people can migrate and then avoid environmental problems like air pollution. But then, what about poorer people? Poorer people cannot move, cannot migrate because they depend on the livelihoods coming from the local area where they are living. Okay, Delhi. So they can't move out. And as a result, they are the ones who are getting affected by air pollution. And once they are getting affected by air pollution, then they would experience two problems. One is morbidity, that is health problem. Their lungs will get affected, and then they will have respiratory diseases. And as a result, they will not be able to participate in the labor market. They will not be able to participate in any productive activities. So if they are breadwinners, and if they are daily wage earners, then what will happen when they become sick, right? So their livelihoods will be drastically affected, and therefore they will be into hunger, they will be into poverty. So an environmental problem will lead to increased hunger and increased poverty, especially among the already poorer people. And this is where the sustainable development goals may not work properly. Okay, so sustainable development goal 1 says that you have to eliminate poverty by 2030, and sustainable development goal 2 says that you have to eliminate hunger by 2030. But then, if people are experiencing environmental problems constantly, then whatever the kind of effort that we take to eliminate hunger, poverty through the sustainable development goals, then poverty cannot be eradicated, the hunger cannot be eradicated. And now you talk about women empowerment. Women empowerment comes through better education, better water supply, better sanitation. And goal number 6 talks about water and sanitation, providing water and sanitation to people. But then, water and sanitation are basically environmental issues. And how do you get good quality water? You have to keep the water sources, groundwater sources, surface water sources healthy, so that we can draw raw water from these sources and then supply this good quality water to the people actually. But then, if you look at the surface water bodies, take for example in Bangalore, most of the surface water bodies were affected by pollution, sewage pollution, industrial pollution. And there is a lake called Belandur Lake, which sometimes flames because of the pollution in the water. Similarly, in Vellore, Tirupatur, let us take Vellore district. Your entire groundwater has been affected by the tannery pollution. And tannery pollution has been going on for the past 5 decades or so, 1980s, 90s, 2000s. It has been going on, completely affecting the groundwater quality. Indeed, I came to know that people in Vellore, for example, they are not getting polar water. They are getting Kaveri water. Why this is so? Because the entire polar river basin has been polluted by various industrial activities, more precisely the tannery activities, which are very harmful. The tannery pollution emits lot of harmful effluents to the environment, and these harmful effluents affect the water quality, making the water, groundwater especially, not fit for any purpose. Okay, so therefore, all development goals, sustainable development goals, are in one way or other connected to the environment, and therefore we need to manage environment properly. So there is a strong linkage between sustainable development goals and the environment. So how do we manage the environment? Right now, the environment is getting affected by umpteen number of problems. Industrial pollution, sewage pollution, especially in urban areas, you get a lot of urban sewage. In many of the water bodies, the solid waste is being dumped. And today in the class, we have been talking about encroachment. Most of the water bodies in the state have been encroached by people. You can't evacuate them. For example, in Chennai, in some of the water bodies, the revenue department has identified 500 kind of households who have occupied the water body, and they need to be evacuated. Kind of, they need to be removed from these, encroachments. But then that is not possible because of various constraints that the government face. And therefore, some problems, environmental problems, they become permanent, and some problems cannot be restored. And the point that I am trying to make here is that because of the fact that the environment has irreversible nature, we need to think about protecting the environment right from the beginning of development. Okay, indeed, many empirical studies have categorically demonstrated that it is the environment which enhances development, namely sustainable development. Okay, and it is not the other way around, namely development enhancing environment. It's a myth. So right from the beginning, we have to protect the environment so that our development can be sustained over a period of time, and it can be a sustainable development, because otherwise the development will become a development that would live only for a short span of time. I can give you umpteen number of examples. Take, for example, the Sterlite factory in Tuticorin. It's an industrial activity. I read that Sterlite factory was supplying around 15 to 40% of the copper that is required in India for various activities. Okay, but then Sterlite factory was kind of emitting pollution, which is supposed to have affected the soil, the groundwater, and then many villages surrounding this Sterlite factory. Of course, there is no kind of scientific research, but I am talking on the basis of the anecdotal evidences coming from different sources. Okay, some NGOs, some researchers who are living there. So all of them report that the pollution from the Sterlite factory, uncontrolled pollution, has been causing a lot of problems to the local people. And the local people went to the court, and the court says, look, you have to close down the industry. And this industry was closed down in the year 2018, I think. For the past 7 years, this industry was not operational. What this case study tells us is that it is not the development that enhances environment, but it is the environmental deterioration that affects the development adversely. It has brought this industrial activity to a standstill. Let me tell you another example. The tannery pollution in Pala River Basin, Vellore, Ambur, Vaniambadi. So these are the regions which have been affected by tannery pollution. And then, some of the NGOs, Vellore Citizen Forum, went to the court saying that this tannery pollution is affecting our land, agriculture, livestock, groundwater, people's health, all of them. Then the Supreme Court, the court said that, the pollution has to be controlled. Otherwise, you will have to close down the industry. I think that these tannery units were closed down for some time, and then they have revived the industrial activities by way of bringing common effluent treatment plants in this particular industrial region. Then what happened to textile units in Tirupur? Tirupur exports around 30,000 crores worth of textile to other countries, and a huge foreign exchange is coming from the Tirupur industrial activity. Then this bleaching and dyeing unit, which is a subsidiary for Tirupur industrial activities, knitwear units, there are around 367 bleaching and dyeing units. They have been polluting the Noyal River Basin. If tannery pollution affected Pala River Basin, the textile pollution affected Noyal River Basin. And there is a dam called Varthapalayam Dam, which was constructed in the year 1992 to 96. And this is the only dam in the world which accumulates polluted water, which has been of no use at all. The upstream farmers, they say, please release the polluted water by opening the sluices of the dam. So they don't want this polluted water to stay in the Varthapalayam Dam. But the farmers downstream of this Varthapalayam Dam, they say don't release this water. So we have never come across a case like this across the globe where farmers don't want water saved or released from a dam constructed for irrigation purpose. Nobody wants this, dam water actually. That's because the water in the dam is highly polluted, industrial pollution, chloride pollution, which is causing lot of problems to agriculture, livestock, human health through groundwater contamination, etc., etc. So textile pollution, textile industry. In 2013, the Supreme Court said all the bleaching and dyeing units which are not controlling pollution at all. We have been telling these units to treat effluents and then release the treated water in the Noyal River Basin. But then these industrial units did not listen to us, and therefore we have to close down all these units. So in 2013, all the bleaching and dyeing units which are acting as subsidiary for the knitwear units in Tirupur, they have been closed. Your entire economic activities in that region have come to a standstill. And then all these bleaching and dyeing units went to the Supreme Court, and then they said, we will now make some effort to treat water with the help of Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. Now they are being monitored 24/7. And, but then if you interact with farmers in the downstream of Varthapalayam Dam, or downstream of Tirupur, they still say that, look, pollution has not been controlled completely. Still we get grey water, which is contaminated, and we continue to experience productivity loss in the agriculture sector, many diseases with the livestock sector. Therefore, pollution is not getting controlled, but we are still getting affected adversely by this pollution. So that is what is the statement coming from many of the farmers. So the point that I am trying to make here is that it is pollution problem which brings down the economic activities, development in that particular region. Okay. And there are many other cases. For example, there is a Parandur airport which is going to be an international airport, which is going to supplement the existing international airport in Chennai, because Parandur airport will handle more number of passengers, more number of flights, more number of goods, etc. But then the farmers are resisting and the NGOs are resisting, the villagers are resisting for this developmental program, airport, because they feel that it is the agriculture sector which will get affected. It is the water bodies which will get affected because of this Parandur airport, so on and so forth. So it has been halted. And there was one um, the green expressway proposed between Chennai and Salem, and all kind of initial measures were taken by the previous government, ADMK government, and then farmers' resistance, NGOs' resistance from ecologists, resistance from kind of researchers, intellectuals. Now what happened to the Salem Chennai expressway? It's a development project. We are talking about sustainable development goal. But then environmental concerns have brought this economic activity to a standstill. There is no infrastructure development. Now, similarly, you have this Collegial port, which did not come up because of resistance from the fishing community. And so I can give you umpteen number of examples of how the Theni, in Madurai, there was a tungsten project. So then Madurai people resisted against this project actually. Then that project was closed. And in Tanjavur Delta region, the, the hydrocarbon project. So the government, central government wanted to take up hydrocarbon from the Tanjavur Delta region. You have plenty of huge quantity of hydrocarbon. If we take and utilize that hydrocarbon, we need not have to import oil or crude oil from other countries. We can considerably reduce the dependence of India on crude oil from other countries in case we utilize the hydrocarbon available from the Tanjavur Delta region. But then farmers' resistance, no, it was going on for several years. And then finally the previous government declared this as a protected area. So you can't drill any kind of bore well for taking hydrocarbons. So all these examples suggest that environment, if you don't take environment seriously, then you cannot pursue any development activities. And ultimately, if you are not able to carry out development activities, then what will happen to your sustainable development goals? You can't implement them. And therefore, we need to focus on the environment in order to bring a harmony, a complementarity between development and environment. Right now, there is a development versus environment. Still that paradigm is going on, which is called very weak sustainability paradigm, where we think we need to develop industry, we need to develop urbanization, etc., because that is how we can expand our economy. Indeed, by 2030, the Indian economy will have to be 8 trillion US dollar economy. Sorry, yes, no, sorry, it is basically, yes, 8 trillion US dollar economy, 8 trillion US dollar economy, okay? But by 2047, our economy has to be 30 trillion US dollar economy. So right now, it is only 4 trillion US dollar economy, 4 trillion. By 2030, in another 4 years, we have to double that amount, namely 8 trillion. By 2047, in another 20 years or so, we have to make the economy 30 trillion US dollar economy. But do we have adequate resources? Do we have adequate, environmental resources, natural resources to support this growth? Because even for the current development of achieving 4 trillion US dollar economy, we have to sacrifice huge amount of environmental resources. We had to deteriorate environmental quality, water, air, biodiversity, groundwater, atmosphere, coastal areas. All of them are experiencing severe environmental problems even for achieving 4 trillion US dollar economy per year right now. And think about 30 trillion US dollar economy. What would be the magnitude, volume of environmental damage that we have to bear during this growth path? Okay. So with the given level of environmental problems, we will never be able to achieve 30 trillion US dollar economy. And therefore, we will not be able to achieve any sustainable development goals in the future. And the message that I am trying to convey here is that achieving sustainable development goals, achieving 30 trillion US dollar economy depend largely, mainly on how effectively we protect our environment. We have to protect our water bodies. For example, very recent study by MIDS suggested that 141 wetlands in Tamil Nadu can generate 23,000 crores worth of benefits to the society per annum. Every year, 141 important wetlands in this state can can generate 23,000 crores worth of benefits. Most of them are non-market benefits. They are being used by local people. And sometimes, this benefit includes global benefits also, the carbon sequestration service provided by the wetlands. But, they can potentially generate 23,000 crores worth of benefits. And these benefits in one way or other help achieving the sustainable development goals. For example, food production. How do you eliminate hunger? You have to get irrigation water from the water bodies. If there is no irrigation water, food production will get affected adversely. Then you will not be able to achieve goal number 1 and goal number 2 especially. And if water bodies are getting affected, then goal number 6, water and sanitation, will get affected. Decent work, right? That will get affected in case you maintain the environment, okay? Women empowerment will get affected in case the environment is getting affected. So, 23 crores from 141 water bodies. How many water bodies we have in Tamil Nadu? Around 42,000 water bodies. You think about the volume of benefit that could be generated by all the water bodies in Tamil Nadu. But in reality, we cannot achieve 23,000 crores worth of benefits from all these water bodies because, as I said, all these water bodies are experiencing problems like encroachment, pollution from industry, pollution from urban areas, solid waste dumping, encroachment, infestation of invasive species like Velikarvai, for example. There is one lake, huge lake near Salem, Panamarthapatti Lake, which was supplying water for Salem, Attur, and surrounding places in the 50s and 60s. But now, this water body, a very vital, important water body, which has been the lifeline for that entire region, is now defunct. Only Velikarvai can be found throughout that water body. We have visited surrounding villages. They said this water body is very important for us to continue our agricultural activities because most of these villages, the quantum of ecosystem benefit that we will generate will be enormous. And from our study, what we have found is that because of not maintaining the 141 wetlands properly, every year we are losing around any freebies at all because the nature itself provides huge quantity of benefits to the society. So what is wanted is, let us maintain the environment. So water bodies will have to be maintained. We have to plant more trees, right? So that the climate change impact can be minimized. And then tree crops also generate a lot of benefits like, ecosystem benefits like, the non-timber forest produces, the groundwater recharge, namely the during rainy season, the groundwater will be recharged. Soil erosion can be prevented in case we plant more trees, bring agroforestry in a large scale, all those kinds of things, okay? So therefore, friends, um, uh, in order to achieve sustainable development goals, we need to think about protecting the environment first. Wherever possible, we have to protect the environment. But right now, the environment is experiencing lot of problems which make achieving sustainable development goals a very difficult task for the governments. And therefore, we need to think about protecting the environment. So how do you protect the environment? What is the root cause of the current environmental problems? The root cause of the problem is human behavior. We keep our house clean, but we pollute the street. We pollute the water body. We always throw our, garbage in the sewerage system. That is why in Chennai, even for a small amount of rain, you have floods everywhere. Why? Because we throw lot of garbage in the public, which gets stuck in the sewerage system that carries rainwater also. And then, when we use plastic bags, they don't allow the soil to absorb the rainwater. So there is no groundwater recharge. And as a result, you have flooding. Similarly, tons and tons, several thousand tons of plastic waste ultimately enters the coastal areas. And then the plastic affects the coastal ecosystem. Fishermen's livelihoods is getting affected. Not only that, the pollution from urban areas that enters the coastal area contaminates the fish and the biodiversity. Coral reef is getting affected. When the same fish is being consumed by human beings, it leads to health problems, okay? Food poisoning. So we ourselves poison our own food because of our own behavior. And therefore we need to think about an environmentally friendly behavior. Use always public transportation system, which will minimize the uh, carbon dioxide emission. When I was doing my schooling and college, I used to go only by bicycle because that time I didn't have money to go by bus. So I used to go by bicycle. But now I think that I was contributing enormously to the environment. So please use bicycles. Please go by walk if the distance is walkable, so that you can improve your health, so that you can contribute to your environment better, and use less amount of water wherever possible. The bathroom, for example, with 15 liters of water, one can take a very comfortable bath. But then, right now, we are using more than 15 liters of water in our bathroom. And most of this water goes as waste. And this waste water coming from the households is ultimately ending in the where? Water bodies. And the same water bodies are being used for drawing water for drinking purpose. So on the one hand, waste is entering the water body. On the other hand, the same water is being taken for drinking purpose. So we poison our own food. Namely, we kind of contribute to the deterioration of the water in the water bodies by way of discharging wastewater. And then the wastewater contaminates the fresh water, but then the fresh water is being taken for consumption purpose, okay, which again enters into our human body. So we ourselves spoil the environment and spoil our health, okay. So one of the goals, I don't remember the number, deals with good health. So how will you achieve good health if you don't keep all these water bodies, environment, contamination free, okay? So you see, our own behavior causes all the environmental problems, and therefore we have to be environmentally conscious. So let us not use too much of electricity. Let us not use too much of water. Let us not consume too much. That leads to generation of solid waste, generation of plastic waste, generation of the e-waste. Ultimately, these wastes are ending somewhere in the water body, polluting the environment, polluting the water, and ultimately affecting the human health, livelihoods, etc. So we need to change our behavior. Whatever possible way, we need to change our behavior. We need to plant more trees, use less water, protect our water bodies, no practice of open defecation. We have to always use proper sanitation and so on and so forth. So by doing this, we will be able to protect the environment and we will be able to achieve sustainable development goals. So I will stop here and thank you very much for this opportunity to interact with you and thank you so much. I would like to thank the organizers for especially Professor Xavier for inviting me to share some of my ideas with you and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
So, dear respected Dr. L. Venkatachalam, on behalf of the organizing committee, I sincerely thank you for spending your precious time with us, and interacting with us, and explaining about environment as well as the sustainable development goals. We all know that you are a great environmentalist. Not only that, you have helped a lot to our college. Came here as a board of study member, academic council member, and so on and so forth. And also you helped many of our PhD scholars to complete the PhD. So this is a right platform. I would like to sincerely thank you for your presentation. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you all. All the best. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll leave. Thank you.
So, dear students, we are going to break for lunch. So, before breaking for lunch, the students of Sacred Heart College, first BA, you have to give your attendance to Dr. S. Yogunan sir. Second BA, Dr. Makala Gandhi sir. Third BA, Dr. M. Dr. M. Vincent sir. PG students, first MA to John Sundar sir, second MA to Madam. Okay. So, other department students, you can depart. Again, we will be gathering here. Again, we will be gathering here by 1:45. So now the time is 12:40. 1:45, you have to be here. So now, students from other colleges remain back here. Students from other department, you can just move around.